number 12, Barbie Young. Nice up by Nebraska, but that's the kind of hustle they're going to have to do. Now, even though that went out of bounds and it results in a side out for Pacific, it showed they're quick. Dorothy and Liz Hurt are identical twins. This is Dorothy Hurt. She is not the setter for Pacific. Liz Hurt, her sister, is. Dahlgren puts it down and gets it back.
And that's what they're going to try to do, set the ball very quick. Interesting, Leandra, that after their semifinal win, they received a telegram from their athletic director, Bob Devaney, saying, congratulations on a great win, and all of Lincoln and all of Nebraska is with you. So they have great support around the country, and especially in Nebraska.
All of Lincoln and all of Nebraska is watching as the service just went into the net, and some of the first game jitters are being worked out of both squads. Great solo block by Brooke Harrington. Oden on the quick set, right over the block. Pacific draws first blood.
Well, one thing we said they're going to try to, and that is Pacific set the quick set to Elena. And this is what Nebraska does not want to see, Elena Oden coming through and getting a lot of kills.
Nebraska with a chance to do something here. Schoenweiss has to send over an easy one. McGrath does it this time. Number 6.
I repeat, the things that Nebraska needs to do. First thing is they have to pass the ball. And if you're not familiar with volleyball, passing the ball just means getting it to the setter up to the net. Well, we'll see what, that's a good pass.
You're right.
And they get a kill out of it.
The good pass is where it's at.
And if you're not familiar with the quick set, that was it. Just 1 foot above the net or 3 feet away from the center. They must serve hard and set quick.
Kathy DeBoer will serve for Nebraska. Good serve, had a nice drop. Oden gets a low set and spikes it into the net.
Excuse me, Leandro, one of the reasons that Coach Pettit wants to force the ball to the outside, with Oden and Miller, they're hitting over 300%, where the outside hitters, Harrington and Hurt, are hitting lower, 200 and 100%. So you want to force the ball out to the outside and make their lesser spikers hit the ball and get the ball out of the middle.
Terry McGrath just hit that one out of bounds, and things are tied up. 2 apiece. Kathy DeBoer doing the job for Nebraska. That service goes out, and going behind the line for the Tigers will be Terry McGrath, a 6-foot junior from Long Beach, California. Harrington goes cross court. Nice up by DeBoer.
Good set.
Dahlgren gets blocked. Dahlgren, the quick set, stuffs it in there.
It's going. It's still alive. That was the pancake maneuver. And it garnered,
it hit the ground, but it didn't.
It garnered syrup. It was straight up there. Beautiful up. But you have to like the game plan so far of Nebraska.
Yes.
Pounding the ball down in the middle. Look at that pancake. Just laying your hand on the floor. Tremendous dig.
Dahlgren serving. 2-2 still. The service is long, and service errors are starting to kill Nebraska.
Right, and the thing I'm sure their coach said, look, go for your serve. Try to serve hard. They're going to make some errors, but if they can get some aces interspersed, it's okay.
Nebraska gets it back. Going behind the line to service, Tisha Delaney, a 5'8" senior. As we look now at Pacific.
Dorothy Hurt calling the signal. She's the setter quarterback.
Nice dump. That was Liz Hurt, number 11, as you look now at Elena Oden. Elena Oden is now in the backcourt, but there's one difference I would have to say that I've noticed between last year and this year. It's the backcourt play of Elena Oden. It's come along.
It really has, and that's one thing that is very good about Pacific. They have big, tall players, but they're very mobile in the backcourt, able to dig.
Dorothy Hurt. Yes.
It's a problem in rotation for Nebraska. Now, keep your eye on Nebraska on offense. They're setting the ball very low to the outside. We call it a fast 4, a fast shoot to the outside or a quick set. That's what they're trying to do. Look at that.
That was quick.
And it's working.
Unfortunately, the hit, I believe, went out. No, it was good on the line, side out.
And that's what Pettit said. He said, we're going to set this ball quick. If we can get some passes, watch how quick this is. It beats the block, splitting the block.
Again, the service is long. That has to be about the 4th service error for that team.
4 service errors, and Nebraska, you want them to serve hard, but after someone serves out before you, you have to get the next one in.
Dahlgren gets stuffed. Calling the illegal hit. Point for Pacific.
The head official tonight, Verna Klubmikin, calling a double contact.
Terry Pettit, Nebraska coach.
Good dig.
Harrington goes cross court.
Great up by DeBoer.
Nice dive. 4-2.
A second look at a very nice stuff and an attempted dive. DeBoer almost getting that play.
That was a great move by DeBoer. Now we see a service error for Dorothy Hurd.
And here's where you have to get the ball in. Endicott going back. The server in front of her served out. She's got to get the ball in.
This is Lori Endicott serving. Harrington goes down the line, but it's out of bounds. 3 points for Nebraska. John Dunning, second year as a college coach, second year at Pacific.
Doing a good job so far serving the ball. They're not getting him in, but they're making Pacific move around. What I mean is they've missed a few serves, obviously, 4 of them. Great up.
Oh, nice save. But it's a free ball. Let's see if Nebraska can capitalize. They cannot. The spike is hit out of bounds.
Mary Miller has
serving 3.
371 kills this year, but she's very, very good in the backcourt also.
Pacific has Oden in the front court. Harrington.
Boy, these are the rallies you want to win too, Leandra. The long rallies.
DeBoer. No blocker touched it. Point.
Good pass.
Yes, McGrath.
Pacific so good on defense. Dorothy Hurd, Brooke Harrington, 2 of the best defensive players in the country on one team. Bumping the ball up, and McGrath putting it away, and Nebraska forced to take timeout.
Terry McGrath still serving for the University of Pacific, where they lead Nebraska 6-3 in game number 1 in this best-of-5 match. Oh, what a lucky bounce for Nebraska.
And Enid Schoenweis gets the kill. She came into this match with 81 kills. That's her 82nd. The NCAA tournament record is 91 by Tracy Clark of USC in 1982. So Enid Schoenweis, if she can get 10 more kills tonight, she will break the NCAA tournament record.
Angie Milliken in the game for the University of Nebraska. Milliken, a backcourt specialist. She is 5 feet 9 inches tall, a sophomore from Ogallala, Nebraska. McGrath puts it down. She's blocked by Schoenweis.
And she
pepper drill by Pacific is in vain.
And Angie Milliken, if you remember in the semifinal match, she was the one who came in and sparked Nebraska, getting a lot of points against Stanford. She comes right in, and Nebraska scores a point. Good up by Endicott.
Schoenweis goes up, sends it out of bounds.
Tough chance for Enid that time, just off the net.
Set was way behind her.
Yes.
Schoenweis up again. This time she finds her mark. Again, it's out of bounds. Now that looked like a good set. Oh, they're saying off the block.
Touch call by the linesperson that time. There are 4 linespeople that ring the court, in addition to the referee, Verna Klubmikin, the umpire, Sue Lemaire. They'll make all the calls.
Oden has to do some dancing around her teammates to get that one in.
What can you say about Elena Oden, first team All-American this year? She's got the ability to move and run, going to the right side and putting the ball down.
I don't think a fly has a chance against her open hand. She hits any target, moving or stagnant. 7-4 Pacific.
And she's such a good blocker, too, at the net, just stuffing it down. Pacific cheerleaders very confident that their team is going to get number 2 tonight. This is the pass that really kills them, though. Have to get the ball to the net.
Eight to 4, Pacific is on top. Out to Schoenweis. Cross court, hits the ground. Side out Nebraska.
Good kill that time by Schoenweis, putting the ball away. Two-person block that time.
Tisha Delaney, the 5'8" senior. She's from Festus, Missouri. Delaney will serve again. She is a junior college transfer from Jefferson Junior College in Missouri. Last year was her first year with the Cornhuskers. As you can see, she's ranked 9th in the nation.
And she's their best server.
She's keeping that streak up. 6 serving 8.
A tough serve can really cause you problems, and they have it going right now. Only a 2-point lead.
Tisha Delaney, second team All-American. And Schoenweis touched it. It's such a split-second decision when the ball's coming at you at that should I touch it or should I not touch it angle.
It's a lot like tennis, you know when the ball's going to be out over your head or whatever.
But then there's that gray area.
Yeah, exactly.
Enid Schoenweis, 6 feet 1 inches tall, 21 years of age, from Beatrice, Nebraska.
5 kills.
Oh, net. Substitution for the Cornhuskers. DeBoer will come back in. Milliken comes out.
And the reason he's doing this is because Milliken is not quite the blocker that DeBoer is, and he has to have DeBoer in there height-wise to match up against Pacific.
Nice move by Endicott.
Little tool shot, just shoving the ball off the blocker out of bounds. Nice play by Nebraska.
Coming in the game for the University of Nebraska is Barbie Young. She'll come back to serve. She's number 12, 19 years of age, from Sidney, Nebraska. And back in your face, Dorothy Hurt, says Kathy DeBoer.
That's exactly what Nebraska wants to do. Force the ball to Dorothy and to Harrington and get the ball out of the middle. They set up a great 2-block.
7 serving 8. Not a good pass to Liz Hurt.
Ooh.
She made a nice set out of a not-so-good pass.
Terry McGrath, just left-handed, just whips it down from the left side. Usually a right-side spiker.
DeBoer out-blocks McGrath, but she's in the net. And a point goes on the scoreboard for Pacific. That's Sue Lemaire.
This is just the joust. Who's the fittest? But DeBoer just catches the net with her jersey on the way down.
Karen Dahlgren.
It's a play we saw a lot in the semifinals against Stanford, just moving to the right side and hitting around. Karen Dahlgren getting the kill.
Ooh. Ouch. Harrington. Harrington's a bit of the wild woman out there.
She certainly is, and as I said in the opening, she's with a spark plug, and she has to get going for Pacific to get off this. They're not playing quite as well as you would expect them to, but give Nebraska some credit.
Give Nebraska a lot of credit. They're putting up a very tough match. Terry Pettit did a fine job keeping his players relaxed at this very tense time in competition. Nice job by Dahlgren.
Trying to get the ball to the middle. Remember, 50% of the sets. They need to go in there.
They're high and outside right now. McGrath has to lob it over and can't do it. Milliken comes back into the game for Nebraska as we watch Kathy DeBoer exit.
I think Nebraska's game plan is working right now. They just need to execute their spikes and do things just a little better. The philosophy is right, but they need to execute the skills a little better.
Long and strong. Too long, too strong. Point for the Cornhuskers. Angie Milliken has a 22-inch vertical jump. That's second best on the team. Virginia Stair has the best at 25.
Tough serve.
Too strong. Sure looked good, though.
Pacific got exactly the matchup they want. They wanted to play Nebraska. They did not want to play Stanford because of the emotions of last year. They felt it would be a much more difficult match. So they have the matchup they want if they're to win their second title.
Last year, Stanford played Pacific for the title. Pacific won. The year before that, Stanford was in for the title match and lost. So it's been a tough road to the championship for the Cardinal.
Terry Pettit giving the serving signal, and that was the spot to be, area 3.
Nine serving 10. Substitution for University of Pacific coming in. Andrea Reddick, number 3. She's a 5'9" sophomore from Corona Del Mar.
Pacific having a little trouble serve receiving, and give a little credit to the serve. Elena on the outside. Oh.
You saw Mary Miller go out. Right now that was Elena Oden, who actually hit it out of bounds, but Nebraska touched it. A little Christmas gift from the Cornhuskers to Elena. Nice block by Oden. Dorothy Hurt gets blocked. Dorothy Hurt again, through the block. Yes, that felt good. You can see that.
Dorothy Hurt getting the set from her sister Liz, putting it down. She hit the first one and was blocked back over. You see Dorothy going up and just finding the line.
Net violation called. 12 points now for the Tigers.
And one thing, Leandro, when you do set quick, you tend to make more errors, and that's what happened to Nebraska on that play.
Our score remains 12-9 here in Stockton, California. As you look right now at Tisha Delaney trying to get the Cornhuskers back on top in game number 1. Oden says no. And Chris Marlowe, you are an Olympic gold medalist. You have played all sorts of international volleyball. What do you do against somebody like that?
Well, they're using a little trick play that she learned on the national team. For example, that little jump step, it's called a double pump. And she comes in looking like she's going to hit the quick set and then double pumps and leaves the block out of position. Neat little trick.
That took a Cornhusker bounce. Nebraska will serve as we look now at Enid Schoenweis.
7 kills for Schoenweis. She just needs 4 more to break the tournament record.
Milliken goes outside the antenna. That is not allowed. The antenna is extension of the sideline. You may not touch it. Like a foul pole, or unlike a foul pole where you can touch it. In baseball, you cannot do that in volleyball.
Good dig. Beautiful dig.
Milliken goes around the block. Nice up by Oden. Good backcourt play. Blocked back, but it goes out of bounds. And the Pacific Tigers are looking at their 13th point. Substitution for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Milliken comes out, DeBoer comes in.
Nebraska getting some good defensive plays, but they're not putting the ball down on the outside. It's a great up. One-handed diving save by Dahlgren.
Nice put down by Virginia Stair, 5'11" freshman from Waco. That's Waco, Nebraska. Coming into the game for Nebraska is number 12, Barbie Young. Virginia Stair will come out. Barbie Young is a life science major, and in high school she was a gold medalist in high jumping. Ouch, Mary Miller, or Terry McGrath.
You know, usually McGrath hits from the right side, but John Dunning said next year he's going to experiment having her hit a little left side. You can see why. She's just got a whip for an arm. Kansas City block set up for Pacific.
DeBoer dinks over, but there's a net violation called on McGrath. As you look now at Verna Klubniken, that's our first referee. That whistles to beckon the serve. Nice put down. Mary Miller, 6'2" junior from Sunnyvale, California.
Time Schoenweis just a little too deep. Nebraska needs to move their defense up a little towards the 10-foot line. That's that stripe 10 feet away from the net. Move it up closer because Pacific hits downward trajectory.
That's very true. When Pacific hits long, it's usually out.
Yes.
All right, we are at game point in our first confrontation between Pacific and Nebraska. The Tigers are up 14-9, but we've seen many teams hold on at 14 points, so it's not over yet. Oh, nice save by Elena Oden. Gets a finger in there.
Good set. Good. Come on,
right to me.
Didn't you tell me once with a star on, was it Northeastern?
Illinois University, but I was far from the star.
Still got the defensive talent.
I still have the slivers from the bench. Substitution for Nebraska as the Cornhuskers stay alive. Coming in, Angie Milliken. This is a routine substitution. Kathy DeBoer comes out. You're allowed 3 exchanges.
Ace.
Oh, an ace. Did their morale need that?
Milliken, really the person in the semifinals who did it, just a howitzer down the middle, and that forces Dunning to make a sub.
Coming in will be number 3, Andrea Reddick. Coming out, Mary Miller. That's for Pacific as we look at Angie Milliken of Nebraska.
Serve tough.
Another point for the Cornhuskers, 11 serving 14. And we're going to have a timeout called by the Pacific Tigers because John Dunning knows this is a game of momentum and the pendulum has swung in favor of the Midwest.
And Coach John Dunning, you don't see that very often where Pacific is forced to call a timeout, but he's very confident. 74-6 in 2 years at Pacific, and very cool, calm, and collected. Terry Pettit really built a great program at Nebraska in his 10th year.
He's never lost the Big 8.
No.
Terry Pettit.
58 matches in a row.
10 times he's won the Big 8 title, and he's got an 8-match winning streak going into this particular match. Collegiate Coach of the Year this year.
And one thing that he's done really well is 7 of his 12 players are from Nebraska. And he's really developed the talent there where he said the girls in Nebraska want to come and play volleyball for him. And I think that's a great tribute.
That's important. You can keep your homegrown products at home.
Yes.
Harrington. Yes, she gets the side out. And now the University of Pacific for the second time can put this game away. Oh, we have a whistle. She wants a reserve. Verna Klubnikin saw a stray volleyball roll onto the court, which was not visible from our cameras. So they will reserve this point. 14 serving 11. Quick set.
Oh, nice dig.
There's McGrath getting it up. Coming over free. Let's see what Nebraska can do with the free one. Too high a set. Pacific is ready.
Oh, look at Harrington. Did she move?
Oh, they came back for it. Off the block again. Can't do anything this time. Nebraska stays alive. Pettit's on his feet. Virginia Stair comes in.
It's a great rundown of this shot. Diving save. Watch Harrington digging, and diving. You can go anywhere to get the ball, and they keep it in play. One trait of Pacific, big players that can really move.
11 serving 14. Harrington gets it back.
One thing about Harrington, she hits a lot of cross-court balls into the corner, and you have to move your block in or move your defense in, or you can't stop her. Make her hit line.
Third time we are at game point here. Let's see what happens. Oden on the quick set his answer. I don't know how she got that one to go down. Schoenweiss goes right through him. 3 times. The Tigers are denied.
Schoenweiss, a tremendous athlete, was a hurdler when she was young. Won the state championship in Nebraska. Her and Dahlgren both hurdlers, but they never faced each other. Free ball. A chance here.
Schoenweiss.
Oh.
Nice angle. Hurt gets a hand on it, but it goes out of bounds, and it is now 12 serving 14. And the crowd's going crazy.
Crowd getting a little antsy, and they do this here at Pacific. Yeah, they're not used to seeing Pacific lose, and they're not losing yet, but Nebraska coming back.
Elena Oden. We've seen her do it to many teams. Demoralizes you when she's in the front court. Mary Miller's back in. Andrea Reddick is out. 4th time we are at game point.
Good pass. There's Harrington.
That's it. It's over. Liz Hurt will serve for the University of Pacific as they enjoy a 10-0 lead in game number 2 for this national championship. I'm Leandra Riley along with Chris Marlowe. If you've just joined us, the Cornhuskers are in red, the Tigers are in white, and Nebraska, their side out worked for them because their timeout worked for them because they just executed a side out.
Well, we were talking during the break, Leandra. Nebraska has to get back in their game. They have the good plan, but they're not hitting the ball sharply. And you see the hitting of Endicott, and Nebraska is the best hitting team in the nation percentage-wise, and they're not spiking the ball hard. If you don't hit the ball hard against Pacific, you're not going to side out. So they got to get the timing, get a point on this play, and just get a little momentum, get something going, so even if they don't win this game, they can come back in game 3.
There's a mild applause going on because Nebraska just got their first point up, and then the cut serves into the net. The crowd appreciating their valiant efforts. They're playing good. Nebraska's basically, but you're right. They've got to make those fine-tuning adjustments. Off the block.
Good timing that time between Delaney and Dahlgren.
Angie Milliken back to serve.
The ball right in her zone there, off the hand, out of bounds. Just have to get the ball in Dahlgren's zone so she can take a good whack at it.
Brooke Harrington chips it way over. Dahlgren can't do anything with that one. It was set to her navel.
Well, there's an old rule in setting. If you don't see the hitter, don't set her. At that time, Delaney turned around expecting Dahlgren to be there, and Dahlgren was off the net. You have to push that one outside.
10 serving 1. And they're saying it was good. It's a service ace.
All right, Pacific just looking so strong in the semifinal. Their coach, John Dunning, said, I'm not sure anybody could have handled us that night. Well, tonight, they're looking very strong also.
Terry Pettit is sitting virtually right on the line. He saw that was an excellent call by the referees as Hurt and McGrath get in a miscommunication at the net. Coming in for the Cornhuskers, Virginia Stair. Also coming into the game is Sue Hansen. Now, that's her first entry in the game. Hansen will come in as a serving specialist, a 5'9" freshman from Lincoln, Nebraska.
And she's got to get it in. I know we've talked about this. If you're a serving substitute, you have to get it in.
Like you said, maybe make the first one a little easy and come back strong in the second, but get it in.
Off of the lollipop first. Then you go for the candy cane, the tough one. See if she can get it in. Oh, she got it in. Good, strong serve, too.
Effective serve, because look what Pacific is doing, scrambling around with the free ball. Yep, she got a point. That's what they brought her in for.
Exactly. Get a little momentum for Nebraska. They win those 58 Big 8 matches for nothing. They've beaten a lot of good teams. They beat Stanford in the semifinals. They just have to play their game.
They played a lot of California teams. Another service winner for Hansen. Susie Hansen, she's 18 years of age, a business education major. At least that's what she says now, but we know freshmen frequently change their minds.
And if you've watched our coverage of volleyball, you know that anything can happen.
There's 4 quicklets. And John Dunning says, let's cool this freshman off. Give her some time to think about her serve. And I'm going to take a timeout. And that he does. The score is Pacific 11, Nebraska 4. Take a look at a good serve.
Really a lift to have someone come in and serve the ball. Bumping it over the net and the tap down. And a serve is so important. If you get it going, can really help you.
It's a classic example of what you said, Chris Marlowe, about the pass being so important. When you serve well, it forces a bad pass, and that's what we've been seeing, 4 points in a row over there.
And Terry Pettit, I'm sure, saying, just keep doing the same thing.
Senior citizen yell, that's what they...
All right, that's Marge, one of the great Tiger fans of all time.
Dunning's strategy worked. He ruffled the freshman's feathers, and it's side out for Pacific. But before they do that, the freshman comes out, and the veteran comes in the form of Karen Dahlgren.
Smart timeout, Dunning. Only his second year, but he makes the right moves. As Tom Cruise would say, all the right moves.
Isn't he also the one who says Top Gun? They're saying off the block. No, 12 points for the Tigers. Terry McGrath serving. Nice dink by Stair. Nicer dink by Hurt, the center. Caught the freshman away from the line and set the dink right down on it.
So smart. And another substitution coming up for Nebraska.
Here comes another freshman going back in. Will be DeBoer. Strike that. Milliken comes out. DeBoer goes in. Stair remains in the game.
Trying to find the right combination.
Bad pass. Everybody was saying uh-oh quietly to themselves.
See, that's one thing you never want to do is bump the ball up to the best hitter on the other team. You got to dig your foxhole, get your helmet on, because Elena just unloading.
Milliken's back in. DeBoer is out. 14-4. It is game point for the Tigers. Schoenweiss. It's up.
Reddick.
Beautiful up. Brooke goes long. No, they're saying it was good. It touched the line. That will end it. 15-4. Terry Pettit, Collegiate Volleyball Coaches Association, Coach of the Year for 1986.
And his staff has really done a good job, Jay Potter and Jeff Nelson, and they put together a great program in Nebraska. And if they don't win tonight, they have a lot to look forward to in the next upcoming years because they're really building a good dynasty-type program in the Midwest.
I think every young lady in Nebraska would relish the opportunity to play for him because he's got a fine program going there in Lincoln.
That's what they need.
Ouch! Fix the floorboard.
That's what they need.
Karen Dahlgren.
The big hammer. You don't see this very often. Right over the net to Dahlgren, and she says,
boom.
Look, this game's going to be a little different, baby.
1-0. Cornhuskers have the lead. Block back. Dink this time. Cornhuskers ready. Schoenweiss. She's blocked.
Dig it up.
Oh, little miscue on the pass, and that results in a side out for the Tigers.
It's interesting. After that Stanford lost the other night to Nebraska, he told Coach Terry Pettit, hey, one way to beat Pacific, let them win the first 2 games, get them overconfident, and then come back and win the next 2, and then you have a chance in the 5th. And
the hard part is the middle part of that strategy.
Exactly.
Come back and win the next 2.
Exactly, but Pacific does get a little cocky when they win the first 2.
Hey, we saw that with Texas.
Yes.
They won like 15-6, 15-0. And then the last game went 16-14. So you're right, there is a complacency problem with the Tigers.
Have to control the ball, and this one's just bumped over the net, and Mary Miller has the presence of mind to slap it down. Miller getting better and better all the time. Good set.
Under the block. Under the block.
Good dig.
Ooh, nice up. Cornhuskers trying to get this one. It's emotionally important to them. The I got it, you take it play.
One thing I like about the crowd here is they appreciate good volleyball. They were even cheering Nebraska on that play. A couple tremendous digs by the Nebraska players. Just a rocket, it's bumped up. And they know their volleyball here. They're really good students of the game, and they don't get on you, they don't razz you. They just cheer good volleyball and cheer their team.
They've had excellent clinicians in the form of the Pacific team, but it's just like a tennis match. You may hate the opponent who's visiting your team, but you certainly appreciate good tennis. Oden. Second point for Pacific.
Now we've talked a lot about the power of Elena Oden, sister of Kim Oden, the Player of the Year last year at Stanford, and she will be Player of the Year one year. She didn't make it this year. The Player of the Year award went to Marlisa Salmi of BYU. A lot of people thought Elena Oden should have gotten it, but they're 2 really fine players in different positions. It could have gone to either one.
Nebraska takes a timeout. Pacific also talking to his charges as we look now at John Dunning. Pacific leading at 3-1. BYU, as you mentioned, has the Player of the Year. They were also in one of the polls the #1 team in the nation. In the other poll, they were the #2 team in the nation. And the reason they are not here right now is Stanford eliminated them in the regional. And, of course, Stanford was eliminated by Nebraska in the semifinals, which you saw here on ESPN. Terry Pettit takes his seat.
Get a good idea of how Pacific uses. They have 2 primary receivers, the 2 deep passers, and that frees the front players to attack the ball. Remember, Liz Hurt, number 11, get an idea. You can go anywhere on the floor after the ball goes. The only difference being you cannot spike from in front of that 10-foot line if you're in the back row.
Off the block. Nebraska gets it back.
We'll check Schoenweiss's kills.
She's right up there.
15 kills, and unofficially that would break the record. We don't have the official stats right with us, but it would be a tremendous record for Enid Schoenweiss.
Most kills in a tournament. Oden. She's the bread and butter of this team. Every time you give it to her, she butters your bread.
And the meat and potatoes. I mean, she's just everywhere. And she gets such a quick approach. Only a 1-stepper, but she gets off the ground so quick.
She's 6 feet 2 inches tall, yet she's still quick. In women's volleyball, the net is 7 feet 4 1/4 from the ground. DeBoer comes in the game for Nebraska. Angie Milliken comes out. This is Enid Schoenweiss, a 6'1" senior. She made 2nd team All-American this year. And in 1985, she competed in the Sports Festival on ESPN.
It's difficult to attack Pacific. They just don't have the weakness. Now Harrington on the outside. They get 2 blockers up, and she goes line. Look at her hit right over the top.
Schoenweiss dives for it valiantly, but can't get there. Brooke Harrington had 11 kills against Texas. So so did Dorothy Hurt. And they did clobber Texas.
And that's the thing. They have such good balance. Everybody had kills in that game. Elena had 20, and Leandra.
The second shot to me in this match.
Get your fist up.
I'm going to get my uniform on.
Have to get the knuckler in position for that.
Stair thought she was going to serve it. She is not. They're going to bring Barbara Young in. The 19-year-old life science major from Sidney, Nebraska. Played high school ball at Sidney High School. Dorothy Hurt gets blocked, but it goes out of bounds.
And officially, I've just been told that Dorothy Hurt unofficially has broken the dig record, 108 digs, which would make her the NCAA tournament record holder, which is another great honor. Keep records like that and get into the record book. It's a tremendous achievement.
Dorothy Hurt, number 12 in white. See, Oden's going to take this behind the line, but it didn't go over. Just one thing about Dorothy Hurt, number 12, she's had to make an adjustment from middle blocker to outside hitter this year. And Chris, basically, I think the folks at home think there's spikers and there's setters. What's the difference between a middle blocker and an outside hitter, and what kind of adjustment do you have to make in that position?
Well, basically, the middle players are hitting quick every time. And you see here comes Mary Miller, she spikes, and she stays right in the middle, right against Dahlgren. So you get a good matchup, Miller against Dahlgren in that one rotation. The outside players, they're kind of the safety valve. They're way out to the left side. And they stay on the outside and spike from the outside. So it's really two different positions. Physically, much more demanding to play the middle blocker spot. The most physically demanding spot on the court in any volleyball match.
You have to dance from the left to the right because you have to throw up on all double blocks. You have to be up there jumping all the time.
You jump every single time. The person on the left, if they set it to the right, they don't jump. They just back off. But the middle blocker should be jumping every single time, either the block or the spike.
And that's why you see the shifting around after the serve. You'll notice as soon as the serve is contacted, there's a lot of scrambling in the front court. That's so that the middle blocker can get back to the center position and the outside hitters can get to the respective side. Angie Millikins coming into the game for Nebraska as we watch Kathy DeBoer lead.
Just the last add on that. Obviously, you want your best blocker to be involved all the time. So you just put your best blocker in the middle and have them go left and right.
Very discouraging to the opponents. Nice dink. Yes. Dorothy Hurt was smiling all the way. She knew she caught them flat-footed on that one.
You don't always have to hit the ball hard. And just a perfect execution of the changeup. They also call it the dink or the tip shot. And that can be very effective when used in conjunction with a hard spike.
Schoenweiss gets blocked. Dahlgren gets blocked.
Keep it off. There's a good set.
Dahlgren blocks, and it's coming back to you now, Chris. Got the knuckler out there.
All right.
This is an inordinately large amount of passes that are coming to our table this evening.
Well, they know where to pass. They know where a good setter is.
Yeah. Pacific gets it back with authority as we watch Mary Miller go back to serve. She's a 6'2" junior, played high school ball at Fremont, 20 years old.
And she played for John Dunning when she was in high school. John Dunning coaching at Fremont and Saratoga high schools. Brought her right along.
Mary Miller was the most valuable player of the PCAA tournament this year.
And I was there for that, Leandra, and she was really great. She got it over Elena Oden and all the other great players in that particular tournament, so you know she had to play well.
Oh, the bad pass turned out to be an excellent pass for Nebraska because it went over the net. Pacific couldn't block it. Reddick comes back in for some backcourt play. Miller comes out for Pacific. There is Reddick, number 3, 5'9" sophomore, 19-year-old psychology major.
Score has been stuck on 3-1. Really helped Nebraska get it from ground level. See where Liz goes.
She went to the money woman, Terry McGrath.
How about Terry McGrath?
She's a GTE academic All-American, a computer engineer, 3.75 grade point average, and there's a couple of academic All-Americans out here.
We might mention the first team, Mary Bernhardt, Northern Iowa, Glendon Johnson from Rice University, Angie Duncan from Tennessee Tech, Dahlgren from Nebraska, and Candace Somerville from Virginia Commonwealth, along with Terry McGrath from Pacific. So congratulations to all those players, showing that you can play athletics and be a smart student also.
Excellent combination. Take move didn't work for Pacific. It'll be 1 serving 4 as the Cornhuskers move behind the line.
Now, if I'm Terry Pettit, I'm the coach, I tell Schoenweis to serve hard. I think one thing that Pettit may have done, as the ball goes down from Schoenweis, 1, 2, 3, maybe serving too much for area instead of trying to serve away. And what you can do...
Downs on the block.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is you call an area, I call an area, and you serve it in that area, but you don't serve as hard as you normally would if you just went back there and cranked one. Yeah. So I think the Nebraska players need to really serve away.
Off the block. Dorothy Hurt.
Oh.
She winds up and gets a good one in. 5-1 Tigers. Dorothy Hurt having a very good game. This is Brooke Harrington. 5'11" sophomore from Corona Del Mar.
Dorothy Hurt with 9 kills.
DeBoer sends one deep. Harrington touched it. It might have been out. We'll never know. Side out. Behind the line is Virginia Stair, the 5'11" freshman. She redshirted last year. She's 19 years of age. Serves too long. Reddick comes out for Pacific. Going back in is Mary Miller for the front row.
It's the 10th serving error for Nebraska this evening. That's too many. Pacific only with 4 service errors. They're trying to serve hard, but they're just not able to get them in at the same time.
Stuffed block from Pacific. When it comes straight down like that, it's not only good for the side out or point, but it's also very demoralizing to get stuffed upon.
Good up.
Nice save. Harrington gets a piece of it and lands into the table. Let's see if she's all right. She is okay.
She loves that too. She loves to dive into the table or dive into the chairs, and the fans really enjoy her
But
play.
they're looking at the table now. It's not all right.
And you check this guy out in the blue here. He doesn't know what's in store for him. Check this guy out.
He dives backwards and falls off his chair.
Let me out of here.
Beautiful save by Mary Miller. DeBoer goes over the block. Hurt to Hurt. Nobody touched it. Nebraska gets their second point of game number 3. It is 2-6. Lori Endicott, the 5'9" sophomore, wants to be an athletic trainer. She's serving.
Got to get the serve tougher. Serve tougher
Miller.
or the block together.
Miller's looking awfully tough in that front line.
Really, a project players come along off one foot. This is the play you've seen Nebraska do, and just spiking it down. Miller and Oden just so powerful in the middle. And the offense designed really around them.
Hurt's from Lake Arrowhead, California. She and her sister played high school ball at Rim of the World, and they're both English majors. DeBoer goes too long. 7 serving 2.
Tough hitting against that block. You go up there and you think, well, what can I do? Can I hit it line? Can I hit an angle? At that time, DeBoer tried to go over the top. She hit it out of bounds.
Delisa DeBolt has just entered the game. She's a 5'10" freshman from Dubuque, Iowa. She's 19 years of age, majoring in biology.
In perhaps as a backcourt sub. Let's see if she plays in the front row. They're trying to get it to the middle. They're just not connecting, and that's hurting them.
That hurts.
It's a net.
On Pacific, they didn't set that very well either. So you look at Bernadette Klavnikin, our first referee.
A little tight to the net. A lot of people might wonder what's going to happen to a lot of these women when they graduate. Well, the head coach of the 1988 Women's Olympic team, Terry Liskevich, who used to coach here at Pacific, is here scouting players, and he'll be checking some of these players out.
He has one out here already in Elena Oden.
Right, and there's a number of other ones that he likes, including Karen Dahlgren of Nebraska.
Schoenweis got a piece of it. Not to be. It also gives him a chance to look at some of the freshmen out there. That was Stair, one of them.
Nice try on the up, but just out of the reach of Schoenweis.
Leona Bielefeld, the 5'11" sophomore from Davis, California. Coming in as Elena Oden takes a break. Crowd applauding Elena Oden as she takes a rest on the bench.
10 kills for Oden. No blocks, however, so far. The way they're playing, they don't really need them.
University of Pacific in white ahead of Nebraska, 8-2. This is game number 3. If Pacific wins this one, it's all over. And the NCAA has championships at all 3 division levels in women's intercollegiate volleyball. By that I mean Division I, which you are watching, as well as Division II and III.
And we'd like to extend our congratulations to the Division II winners, UC Riverside, the Highlanders, coached by Sue Gozansky, their 2nd NCAA title, and Division III, the UCSD Tritons, Doug Danovic, the head coach, and that's their 3rd NCAA title. So congratulations to all the winners.
I was going to ask you a trivia question if you knew what their nickname was, but you already said the Tritons.
Oh, yes.
Still up here, Nebraska looking good. Bad pass to Hurt. Let's see what Harrington can do with it. Milliken gets a good pass up. The dink doesn't go over, and Nebraska is alive. Dahlgren will serve. So look at Mary Miller. This is Karen Dahlgren. Substitution coming in for her, the service wizard, Susie Hansen, who got them a few quick aces and a few points in the last game.
See what you can do this time.
Little freshman from Lincoln, Nebraska, just 18 years of age.
Another good serve by Hansen. She's got to be in there more.
In volleyball, you can only substitute for the one position. That was long. Side out.
One position 3 times. So she has 2 more options to come in. You get 12 substitutions altogether.
Oden's back in the game.
It's like overkill from John Denny putting her back in.
Leona Bielefeld has left the game. But Bielefeld can tell her grandchildren that she played in this national tournament. As can Susie Hansen. She comes out of the game and Dahlgren goes back in. Look at Karen Dahlgren right now. Spike goes into the net. Illegal hit also called. Point for Pacific. It's 10-2.
And you have to start thinking that Pacific just too strong for perhaps any team in the country this year. They've been so impressive. They haven't lost for 2 months, Leandra.
Oden licking her chops on that one. It went off of Schoenweiss's head, which is legal. It has to be hit above the waist and can only contact one body part. But nobody could help her with the headshot. Now watch this. Oden spikes it.
Puts a hat on her right away.
Oden again. Still up. They have to bring this inside the antenna. Good move by Schoenweiss. Reaching over the net. They're saying no. Side out. Crowd disagrees with that call. Verna Klubniken, our first referee.
Tiger fans roaring on that particular play.
That was a gesture for substitution. Coming out, Mary Miller. Going in is Andrea Reddick, as they've done throughout this contest. 2 serving 11. Oden.
This is where it's so tough to try to get a point. They're setting Oden every time. She's just blasting away.
You know, I'm going to go home and listen to this on videotape because I'll record it. And every time I say the word Oden, the action stops. She just ends all play.
She's a Terminator.
Off the block, Nebraska will serve. 2 serving 11. Enid Schoenweiss. Oden.
Well, she's human. She hit one out of bounds.
That's a first.
She only came from the left front to do that, though. She's all the way in the left front.
Swings all the way over to the right side to do that.
One of the better hitters in the country all year, Schoenweiss. She's doing well tonight.
Harrington. Nobody was up there to stop her.
Harrington spotting the hole. If the block isn't solid, you take a look. The ball goes right through the hole in the block and down. No defense behind that.
Endicott. Oden, period. 12-3.
Well, she wasn't named the best player in the country, but you're getting a look at certainly one of the top players in the country, Elena Oden, just doing very well.
The young lady who was, though, is a setter, so I think at this position it's probably safe to say that Oden's the best at the blocker. Off the block, side out for the Cornhuskers. And Nebraska has a 9-point deficit to make up. Number 14, Virginia Stair, will come out, and they'll bring Barbie Young in, the 5'9" sophomore, an outside hitter. So they'll bring her in to serve. Oh, they're going to leave Stair in. Correction, they brought her over to the sideline and changed their minds.
Give her a little advice and then put her back in.
Oden to serve. Substitution on the Pacific side as Mary Miller comes in and Reddick will come out.
Just a little dump shot, left-handed dump shot, and you can do that because she is in the front row. She is an attacker.
Out, off the block, however, is called. Side out for Nebraska.
I'll tell you something interesting, Leandra, closer and closer to a Pacific victory, but last year after Pacific won, Coach Dunning told me he was the only one who came back to Stockton. Everybody else went home after they won the title, and so everybody met him at the airport. They had a tremendous crowd waiting for all the people and all the players, and he was the only one showed up. He said he didn't know what to do. He had 100 microphones and TV and people just going crazy. Yeah. And so this time, if they do win, it'll be great for the area. They get to have it right here and in their own backyard.
I know they ripped down the goalposts in football. I wonder if they'll rip down the uprights in volleyball since it's the home court. Take a little souvenir.
So they don't grab the headphones. That's a
13-3, and the championship is drawing close for the University of Pacific.
And we've talked about Nebraska's program, but John Dunning, Perry Hankins, Mike Jones, Kathy Lum, the coaches of Pacific. What a year they've had, coming on to repeat, perhaps.
Starting a dynasty, and we are at match point for the Tigers, 14-3. John Dunning, he won't let on. Crowd's on their feet, 6,400 people. An overcapacity crowd here at the University of Pacific at the A.G. Spanos Center. DeBoer over the block. Liz Hurt gets lobbed over. See what Nebraska can do with a free one. This is DeBoer through the block. Oden gets it up.
Got to set her sister.
To Dorothy, but it's out. Nobody touched it. Match point is stayed at least once by Nebraska.
Well, I'll tell you, if I'm Liz, I set my sister for a game point, match point, tournament point.
To her sister. Nice up, but they're saying never over. Four serving 14. I'll tell you, Nebraska comes alive at the 14th point.
Puts a lot of pressure on you, too, in the crowd yelling, we're number one before you even won.
Before you are number one, yes. Liz Hurt. And a fine play by Terry McGrath gets the side out. And for the second time, we are at match point for the 1986 Women's Division I national title. John Dunning has seen his team dance on a lot of match points, so he's not getting excited yet. Nice block. Solo block by McGrath. It's still up. It has to go over free from Miller. Good stop by Dahlgren.
There's nothing better when you're on the team that's losing is to keep this crowd from going crazy. Great set by Delaney. Dahlgren punches it down, but just pride now for Nebraska to hold them out as long as they can here.
Side out, Pacific. Third time we are at match point. Brooke Harrington trying to fire the team up, number 22. Dunning still not showing any emotion.
Looks like he lost his best friend.
And every time they don't win